Let's go, Jared. Come on, buddy. We're still cheering for Jared. Hey, we got 2 years to get this guy to the Olympics, people, so that when he's at the Olympics, we have somebody to cheer for that's in our community. Come on now. I don't know if you know, but that's Hillbilly Harry's son. Great guy. All right, day 26. Fantastic. We got 4 days left after this one, okay? How about that? And don't forget, day 30 is going to be awesome. And then we have Sunday Fun Day the next day, which is going to be a celebration of the completion of the 30 days that we done did, okay? So think about that. Get yourself some chocolate-covered pretzels or some Veuve Clicquot champagne. Hey, man, you know, you could be, what? Get yourself something. Get it ready, because we're going to pop it. We're going to do a little Sunday Fun Day, then have a little after party, okay? We're going to talk and eat and, I don't know, have some good times, you know? Because, hey, gotta have a good time, right? Come on. Let's go. Come on. How you doing today? You doing all right? You got that internal locus of control engaged? How do you engage it? Check your levels, people. Is your fire stoked? You got the critical eye locked down? You got them down in the hole? Keep them down in the hole. Okay? Keep them down in the... Of course, I always think about that song from the show The Wire. You know, keep them down in the hole. If you haven't watched The Wire, you're missing out. I just rewatched it again for like the 7th, 8th, 100th time. It's an amazing show. The show, it's written so well. Just go watch it, okay? Do me a favor. Go watch the damn show. The Wire, all right? HBO. Come on. It's fantastic. All right. There's one more thing we need to talk about real quick, okay? Now, if you got that internal locus of control, what we talked about yesterday, right? So that you could control your own life. I don't know if you can hear that, but I got the ravens out there yelling at me. I got to maintain my internal locus of control and ignore them, okay? But in order to maintain that internal locus of control, you have to implement something that I like to call impulse control, okay? You got to control your impulses. The impulses come up out of nowhere in your mind, from your body, like stray bullets coming through your mind, trying to, it'll distract you, get you on a tangent, get you going somewhere else, and basically break down that internal locus of control and break down that hurricane of power that you got going forward. Because once you get that locus of control, you can have the focus revolve around that like a hurricane, and that's your force to move forward and change your life. Now these impulses, they want to break that down. They want to disintegrate that. So you got to have impulse control. Okay, people? Think about it. As soon as you're aware of it, you're changed. It doesn't mean you're going to do it right all the time or anything like that, but when you're aware of it, you can never go back. Okay? So, how do you control your impulses? Well, you plan. You have to have a plan. You start planning everything. You start planning your shopping. You start planning your fun. You start planning your time to not plan. You know what I mean by that? You start planning, okay, on Fridays after 5, I'm going to do whatever comes to me. I'm going to go out to the bar. I'm going to go surfing. Whatever happens, I'm going to sit like a lump on the couch and play video games or watch TV. But that's my time to entertain the impulses. You see what I'm saying? After that time's over with, you control those impulses. You say, impulse, not until the planned time am I going to let you distract me. That's how you do it. Okay? You also have a delayed thought buffer. What the hell does that mean? Every time an impulse comes through your mind, you don't act on it reflexively. You give yourself 20 seconds to think about it. After that 20 seconds, if it's still a good idea or it's important, then you give yourself permission to act on it. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to be like, you know what? I really don't need to do that. I'm going to go ahead and ignore that. I don't need to text that person. I'm going to keep working in my sketchbook. Okay? I don't need to go and check my Twitter feed or TikTok or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and save that till afterwards as a reward and I'm going to get my sketchbook done. I'm going to get my workout done. I'm going to get my cooking done. I'm going to get my time with my family done and reward myself when I go get my privacy in the bathroom or I'm in the bedroom or whatever with the time to indulge that. Okay? Now, what you're creating are standards of behavior. The standards of behavior reinforce your locus of internal locus of control, and they amplify the power that you have in your hurricane to change your life. Okay? Now, all of this, we're just talking about art here, people. We're talking about art. Okay? But can you see how it could go into everything else in your life? Do you see that this is the way? There are many paths up the ladder. Pick one. Do it. Maybe it's the sketchbook. Maybe it's art. Maybe it's music. Maybe it's cooking. They all teach the same lessons. Okay? All of these lessons are multidisciplinary. They go across all disciplines. See what I'm saying, people? So let's get that wisdom and let's change our life, okay? Let's get in that sketchbook. Let's get her done. Come on. All right. All right, I wanted to move on real quick, and I want to talk briefly about what we're going to do the next 30 days, which is getting our paper wet. Now, how exciting is that? That's exciting. We're going to do watercolors, okay? Transparent watercolors. If you're not familiar, there's also opaque, which are called gouache. We'll do that some other time. Gouache sits on top of the paper. Transparent watercolor seeps down into the fibers of the paper, okay? That's the difference. All right. Now, you're going to need some things, okay? So first of all, you're going to need a cup to put the water in, okay? You dip your brush in the water, you need a cup. I got this, man. This is just an old Talenti ice cream gelato cup that I fucking smashed some gelato, saved the damn cup. It's plastic. All right, we got that. You're going to need some brushes, okay? Now, you just need 3 brushes, right? Small, medium, and large, okay? These are just cheapo round brushes. They're Chinese calligraphy brushes, I think. I'll throw some links down in the description. Don't worry about it. But somebody else mentioned you can go to Below 5 or one of these cheap places and get some. They got the liquidation art stuff there. You can buy it there and save yourself some money. They got all kinds of stuff for under $5. That's a good way to do it. So bam, 3 sizes of brush, okay? Small, medium, large. All right. Now, that don't mean I don't have all kinds of other brushes, because I do. Look at that. I do. I even got a toothbrush for splatter technique. Now, if you got an old one of these, or you know what, just use one you got and then rinse it out real good and brush some more. No, don't do that. Get an old one, or maybe steal one from your roommate or your spouse or something when they ain't looking, all right? But you don't need all that just yet, okay? You just need 3 of them. All right, then. Trying to do it cheap. You know what I'm saying? All right, you're going to need some toilet paper. Toilet paper, paper napkins, paper towel. But I found toilet paper is the cheapest way to go, okay? Then you're going to need yourself a spray bottle, a mister. This is mine. It's just got water in it, okay? So we can spray. You're going to see what that's for later. Then you're going to need yourself some tape, okay? Get yourself some tape. This is that masking tape that painters use, the blue kind. Now, I like this kind because it's not super sticky. When I pull it off the paper, it won't rip it. And I kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? All right. Then you're going to need yourself some watercolors. Duh. You can go ahead and get yourself a cheap little pan set like this. No problem. You can get yourself a little bit better pan set like this. And it comes with its own little mixing area, like so. There's the pan set. See that right there? Now, you don't even really need all them colors. You need basically about maybe 6 colors. That's about it. But hey, we'll use them all, okay? And I even got myself a little travel kit right here. Look how cute this little kit is. Isn't that cute? It comes with its own little mixing trays, like so. And then here's what the pan look like. Pan of watercolors. You can see those. And they're all different ranges and different prices, okay? Now, you can even get the little ones that they have for kids. It doesn't matter. This is just, we're learning up here. We're not worried about the quality of the watercolors or the quality of the paper or the quality, speaking of paper, this is what I would recommend getting. Just one of these mixed media watercolor books, because you can do your sketchbooking and your watercolor in it. Now, we're not worried about the quality of the materials, okay? Because we're just trying to get up here in our mind, get it good in our mind. The quality of materials, we'll focus on that later, but it won't make no difference if you don't know how to do it, okay? So let's learn how to do it first, and then if you want to go ahead and get better stuff and more stuff, you can do that. And I'll tell you what's good and what's not good, because there's a ton of stuff out there that people are just making money off artists. I'll tell you that right now. And it ain't helping them one lick. It's terrible, okay? And you're paying out your ass for some shit that don't even improve it, and then just gonna sit on the shelf over there, and you're gonna be, every time you look at it, you're gonna be like, I can't throw that away. That was $100. So you just let it sit there and collect dust. And you're just so mad about it. You're like, fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be that way, people. You gotta be that way. So only get what matters and don't get what doesn't matter. Okay? That's what we're all about here. Now you're also gonna wanna get some of them little blocks that I have for outlining, the wood ones. Now you don't have to have wood. Some people have made their blocks out of cardboard, and you know, you could even make your blocks out of 3x5 note cards. Okay, get the thicker ones so it's easy for you to trace. Now what that does is it lets you lay out the page lickety split really quick without frustration, without all them rulers, without all that and then when you're done, it looks all good, and like you're like, oh, that looks good. So you feel good about yourself. That's what we're all about here. Okay, so I think we covered all that. I'll throw some links down in the description, and then if you have any questions or anything like that, let me know. We'll get those questions resolved. I am working on getting that old Discord up so people have a place to meet and talk about all this stuff, okay? So I'm working on some other stuff too, but I ain't going to say what it is. It's got to be hush-hush until it's all out. Don't want to disappoint people. Come on. All right. So what are we doing today? Well, today what we're going to do is we're going to draw an anthropomorphized animal. What the hell does that mean? That's one of them literature phrases, or I guess media or movies or whatever. We're going to take an animal and we're going to put human characteristics into it and draw it. Okay, that's what I want you to do. Now there's two ways you could do this. You could go ahead and pick somebody that you know or that you watch on the YouTube or whatever, or the movies, and then envision them as an animal and draw them how you see them as an animal. Now I did that right here with Haley Welsh, the Hawk Tuah girl. Okay, I drew her right there as a donkey because that's what she reminds me of, as a donkey. And there's CoffeeZilla over here saying, what the hell, where's the money? And she's all, hee-haw, because she fucking don't know. She stole that money. We all know that. That's one way to do it. Okay? Another way to do it is to imagine an animal. Like it could be a duck or a raven, or in this case, a cat. And then imagine if that cat did something, and what would happen to him. Like say if he went to war, and he was on the front lines of the war, and he had that 1,000-yard stare. Well then, you'd have Sergeant Buckets. Okay? That's what Sergeant Buckets right there. So what I'm giving you right now is two ways to come at this problem that you want to solve. You can either envision somebody you know and turn them into an animal, or have an animal and put them in a human situation and imagine what they would be like as a result of that. Okay? Now I'm excited to see what you come up with. This is where the storytelling and creativity really come into play. Sometimes my words just jump out before my thoughts already moved on somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? My words ain't completed my thought. Come on now, let's go on, get out there, have a good time, and fly, okay?